In today's video, we'll be finding out if it's possible to cook bacon with a hair straightener and eat it without getting sick. Then we're going to be finding out if it's really possible to tape someone's eyes open. And if so, how easy is it to get the tape off? Then we'll be drawing all over my walls with crayon to find out if we can erase it with WD-40. Then I'll be showing how just about anyone can draw a near perfect circle free-handed. And making whatever this thing is, plus more things you guys dared me to do in the comment section. In the last video, I asked you guys what is something you need. And after reading all of your comments, I realized that you guys are just kind of a needy group. You guys apparently have a lot of stuff that you want, and to be honest, I hope you get most of those things. And since you guys came up with so many comments, I thought I'd ask another question. What is something that makes you smile? It could be anything from winning your favorite video game to watching the bubbles come up after you fart in the pool. Be creative with your answers and put whatever you can come up with in the comment section. I'll be picking 10 of my favorite to be featured in the next video. Now, let's get this thing going. For this next part in today's video, what we're going to be doing is finding out if it's possible to cook bacon, or in this case, turkey bacon, using nothing but a hair straightener. Now, this has been featured on the internet probably a million times, but I've yet to see anybody actually eat bacon or anything really that was cooked with a hair straightener or a hair curler. And as far as I can tell, they're basically the same thing. But to be honest, I genuinely am curious to find out how difficult it would actually be to cook some bacon with these things and exactly what's gonna happen to me if I eat bacon cooked with a hair straightener. They say that if you don't cook your meats thoroughly, you could get sick or even die. So I have every incentive to want this to work. Now, I did get a pretty high-powered hair straightener, I think. It's set up to 400 degrees, which is plenty hot enough to cook bacon. But I can only do a small portion of it at a time. And seeing as how I have no idea if this is gonna work out, let's get to it. Okay, so here is the bacon, or turkey bacon, that we're gonna be using for this experiment. Now, just like normal bacon, it is very important that you get this to the right temperature before you eat it, otherwise you could be having some very serious problems. That being said, ooh, I hear, yeah. Ooh, that's good. I hear a very good sounding sizzle off that. Makes me think that we're definitely gonna be able to cook this. Okay, so the bacon has been cooking now for a little bit, and I'm gonna try to do somewhat of a bacon flip, that is. All right. Okay, so that way it can cook both sides of the bacon just as well. That is, if I can get it in there. That's what she said. Yes. Oh, the bacon has no choice. It has to be my friend. Well, that looks pretty done to me. Although I did leave it on there for a little bit longer than it probably needed, I definitely wanted to make sure that whatever I was gonna be eating isn't gonna make me sick. It may look like a dog treat, but it's actually delicious. And it's also a dog treat. So while a hair straightener is not gonna be good at cooking the type of quantity of bacon that I like to eat, it can cook a piece of bacon if you are really in a bind. Or if you just wanna bet somebody $5 that you can't do it. But I'm gonna share something that I actually think is probably the best life hack of all, and that is that cooking turkey bacon, or any other kind of bacon for that matter, in the microwave is actually the best way to do it. I know there's gonna be a lot of people that freak out, but those are the same people that are gonna freak out about me eating turkey bacon too. That being said, the microwave is actually a pretty good chef when it comes to turkey. Don't believe me? Try it. And that being said, we'll be on to the next one. The next thing we're gonna be doing in today's videos is taping my eyes open. Now, I've seen this in movies and in TV shows a million times. It's an old trope where people will just tape their eyes open, and typically they're doing it so they can refrain from looking away from something, maybe like a movie that they don't want to see or something like that. It's mostly meant for comedic effect. But because it's been used so many times, I wanted to find out if it's actually even possible. So what I've got here is just some normal tape, and I'm gonna try to tape my eyelids open to my forehead. And if it works, then I will immediately take the tape off. And if it doesn't work, I'm also gonna take the tape off. But we do need to find out if this works. Okay, here goes nothing. Oh my God, it does work. Wow, I don't think I could shut my eyes if I really wanted to. They're starting to tear up. My eyes like want to blink from underneath. This one's, it's like bending the tape enough to be able to shut. Okay. Well, I certainly feel like I learned enough for one day. And as it turns out, sometimes the weird stuff you see in movies and TV is actually true. Sometimes more true than even life hack channels. But I just couldn't help myself. Every time I see that move in TV, I think, no, there's no way that that would work. There's no way that taping someone's eyes open would work. but it works. Maybe not completely, but if you sat there and practice it, you could get it right. I wouldn't suggest it, but you could. And that being said, we'll be on to the next one. Recently, I've noticed a lot of people talking about a drawing hack that I don't think will work quite as well for me, but we are gonna give it a shot. So according to the internet, it is possible for pretty much anyone to draw a completely perfect circle on a piece of paper, free-handed. And you should see what happens when I try to freehand a circle. It's just a shapeless void. Actually, I'll show you. So here is my best free-handed circle. That is actually not bad for me. I mean, all things considered, I could have done a lot worse than that. It's gonna make drawing a better one even that much more difficult, but let's give it a shot. So the trick is to keep your hand completely still and just move the paper. And I'm gonna do that by keeping one knuckle on the piece of paper. And here are the results. This is the one that I did by hand, and this is the one that I did with the better by hand method. So you can notice definitely a small dip right here and just a little bit of bumpiness and waviness on the free-handed circle. And mind you, this is still pretty good for me. This one has a little bit of a wrinkle in the circle right there where I had to adjust the paper. And then also, I'm not even sure how I got this weird trail right here. That's strange. I noticed that as I was coming back around, but I thought I'm just gonna keep going with it, and who knows, maybe we'll get a spiral going all the way to the middle. But obviously, this is a better looking circle aside from this weird trail. Again, I am no artist, as proof in the drawings that I've made right here, but this actually does look like a really good circle. As far as being able to control exactly how big the circle is, that's gonna be pretty difficult because you're limited to just however much range you have with your own pen and your pinky. At least that's what I was using. However, I think you could also use your elbow. I think that would actually work if you wanted to do a giant circle. I mean, it basically works like any of those slider stencil things. You know what I'm talking about. That being said, we'll be on to the next one. So according to the internet, they say that if you draw on your wall with crayons, which I'm about to do, you can easily wipe it off with just a little bit of WD-40, which I also have. Or the generic. Should be good enough. That is, if this works. Otherwise, I'll just have a weird drawing on my wall. And I'm not an artist, so you can pretty much bet that this is gonna be terrible. Not even really sure what to draw yet. Maybe a smiley face or I don't know. I guess that's about it. Or maybe I should do something Bob Ross-ish. Just draw some pretty trees over here, fill it all in, and you can't even mess it up. No matter what you do, it's gonna look great. Oh, look, we're gonna have a waterfall. It just goes into a nice stream. And over here, we've got the tops of the mountains. And look, there's just a nice little tree. We're gonna put a lot of detail into this one over here. That really pulls it together right there. So this is my amazing drawing. Not quite a Bob Ross drawing, but it's the best I can do, which is pretty terrible. But that's okay, because we're gonna immediately try to get this off of my wall by spraying some sort of a lubricant on it and wiping it with a towel. I don't know, I'd say a 50-50 chance that this works. Let's see. I'd say that worked for the most part. I don't know how much of this is getting picked up on camera, but there's definitely a blue haze that it's left behind. Let me see if I can work that out a little bit more. Well, the wall is definitely a lot shinier. And to be honest, that looks pretty terrible. See, it looks fine until I back it up and you can see exactly what I'm talking about over here. That's where my Bob Ross drawing used to be. Looks like that's probably where I should put a picture. I know that probably looks like a shadow in the middle of the screen, but it's not. That's a stain from the WD-40 I just sprayed on it and the drawing that is mostly gone now, but well, it left a little something behind. That looks amazing. But like I said, this probably makes for a great place to hang a picture. Luckily, I think I just have one right here. Yeah, much better. I think the most important thing to remember here is that if you can hide your mess, that's just as good as if you had cleaned it up or not made it at all. And that being said, that's probably the best life hack I've said so far. That being said, we'll be on to the next one. For this next life hack, what we're going to be doing is taking several pieces of fabric and cutting them into pieces that are about 20 inches long and about 3 inches wide. Then we're going to hot glue all of these pieces together using a repeating pattern in order to make a very useful sock organizer that you could tuck away in a drawer, or you could hang it as a shelf for your socks. I'm assuming you all have way too many socks. And if you do, you should cut up your socks and make a sock organizer. Okay, maybe this life hack kind of sucks, and sometimes my jokes do. But here is the finished product. And I definitely think that this could actually be a useful device, especially if you were to hang it on your wall. This one is going to be put in my sock drawer, and I'm going to be filling it with my underwear. I just don't have the time to combine each one of my socks. I'm not going to do that. But I hope that you do, and if you do, I wish you the best of luck. So if this video was helpful, or if you just enjoyed watching it, make sure to click the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and bell me for notifications if you'd actually like to see the videos. And as always, I'll be seeing you guys in just a few days with a new video. All right, thanks guys, bye.